Alrighty, I currently posted a short breaking what has been reported on Fox News about in the Nancy Guthrie case that a person has been detained according to Fox News. I want to play some. It's on YouTube. I want to bring up this video from Fox 5 Washington, I believe it is. And I want you guys to watch this live feed for a little bit, and I figured I'd share it and see what happens or what goes on, and we maybe get firsthand footage of what's going to be happening or whatever. Again, it's Fox 5 Washington, D.C. live feed from YouTube. I just verbally want to point out that this is property of the Fox 5 Washington, D.C. This is not my content.
Talking about what it was like to work with Google. It's call for number 6, Greg. Play this.
Getting out of debt. This is one of those moments where learning matters. Let me tell you, I'm not done with debt. 2025 was a record year for them. People who collectively had more than $102 million in debt turned to these guys for help. And right now may be the best time to negotiate a settlement. Done with debt tracks credit card and loan company behavior. They're experienced at knowing who's negotiating.
And I'm wondering, Kurt, if you believe, as many others do, might there be more video that is available that could paint a better picture for us of what happened on the court.
$1,000 in debt. This may be the best chance you will get all year. So get rid of it. So consider scheduling a free consultation for only 50 minutes. Imagine waking up without that weight on your shoulders, without all that stress every day, and doing it without taking out.
There's another person I watch here on YouTube as well. It's JLR Investigates. He's like literally boots on the ground. He does citizen journalism as well.
Things are stunning. As we went to break, the FBI released pictures of a man clearly outside of Nancy Guthrie's front door in a ski mask, in leather gloves, wearing a backpack, and they were.
Yeah, I want to play a little flashback, and I'm going to kind of get your take on this, because we were told, remember, that it was when that camera at 12 minutes after 2 o'clock in the morning on February 1st caught a glimpse of something. We were first told it might have been an animal, and it was kind of walked back. But we had the sheriff, Sheriff Thanos, here in Pima County. He was talking about, this is on last Thursday, he was talking about that they actually ran out of technology to recover video. Here's what he said.
Looks like he might have facial hair, but there's no sure. Yes.
Again, this is live video from Fox 5 Washington, outside the Nancy Guthrie home. I'm going to be switching over here in a second, hopefully to another
well, the FBI found some ways.
A different content creator, JLR Investigates on YouTube. Let's switch over to that now. Oh, my bad. One second here. Now we're actually going to click onto his page here in a second. Let's pull it up here.
And you can see him in one of the shots ripping it. It looks kind of clear as day, frankly, ripping it out from where the next camp is. And it
Eve to me is basically freedom. It's a giant open universe where you can do what
You see, so with his right hand. So
Sorry about the commercial. Give me 1 second.
he's punching the Nest Cam, or so it would look. Yep. And he, in the left hand, they're both gloved in black gloves. He's holding.
He is also live right now on the ground. I'm not sure where
Really
yet.
got to get something that's concrete. Now, maybe that will come from this interview, and maybe it won't. Here's what I would say: if I was
You must
saying
be
to all of
interviewing
us, don't
someone.
be discouraged if this lead washes out. Don't be discouraged, because there's lots of other leads in this case. Lots of other leads. I hope it does.
All right, so yeah, we were getting some experts. I'm live out front of Tommaso and Annie's home here. Big deal.
So this is outside the daughter's home and her husband's home. Yeah, just go ahead and watch him. I'll leave it up for a while for you guys can see like on the ground footage. That was the main reason I want to do it. But this is property of JLR Investigates. Again, just want to verbally state that this is not mine.
Big news here. Someone has been detained. Unclear on who this is at this time, but
tampered with the camera at Nancy Guthrie's front door the morning of her disappearance. Anyone with information, please
here.
Contact
but I think possibly that the person could be down there at the building, but we might get an understanding.
Has released an identical statement. So he says it was recovered from residual data located in back-end systems.
Give me 1 second. Sorry about all this.
Eve to me is basically freedom.
You get that alert on your phone that says we've detected someone in
It's a giant open universe where you can do whatever you
have a subscription. The company should have a thumbnail of that of those images.
Subject.
They should
During a traffic stop
surprising when I heard that
south of Tucson. The subject is currently being questioned. Additional information will be released when it becomes available. Let's go to the FBI office. I think hold on a second. I want to.
Shocked that they weren't able to do that.
I want to go to the FBI office. I think it's down the road here.
This is
We should go check out. So apparently, this person was detained during a traffic stop.
Of an image when they put it out as a thumbnail. So if nothing else, it's on their system.
People are also saying that the person detained is not a family member.
And I think they're saying
not a family member.
Shared in the moments before he tore down the ring camera, and
so that's interesting too.
Might have
not a family member.
The system.
So
on their system, but I think what I'm saying,
crazy stuff, folks. Continuous coverage. Guthrie.
I'm looking at it now.
Detained. We're at the FBI building. Thank you so much for the comments. Thank you for your coverage. You are a trooper. You're welcome. Thank you. I think this guy's leaving. I am at the house at Tommaso's home.
In front of his hands, but I think that's what that is. That's a weapon. Yeah.
Is that a gun?
That's a news reporter right out there right now.
You know, when I come on again, I can run and grab a concealed. I have one that looks almost exactly like that.
A news reporter outside the home.
Rubbery kind of material, so that if you,
so let me get my sources here. Let's see what's going on. See if what I could find.
It sticks a little bit to your skin and a little bit to your clothing. And
find out the location here.
And
if not, we'll go to the FBI building. FBI building.
This is so terrifying to me. You're a lifelong law enforcement.
Tucson.
I don't know how this grabs you, but this is so terrifying to me.
FBI building in Tucson. So I'm live outside of
this face mask.
A spot where they were doing all the searches today. Yeah, it's not far.
The gloves showing. This is every woman's worst nightmare.
17 minutes away.
Never mind it.
To the FBI building.
Absolutely.
Let me just make sure FBI.
Say is when I've worked a lot of things on the evidence team, making of children, unfortunately, but
go to the FBI building. Trust your instincts.
Does the perpetrator?
Yeah, I think we should go down and we'll take a drive. You want to take a drive down the FBI building?
Violence, and in this case, here's a man with a gun on the front porch.
Head toward Northern Hills Drive.
Let's go. Let's go. We're going to FBI. We're going to the FBI building.
Yes.
It'll be about 17 minutes.
Is not good for anyone.
just put this up here a little bit.
I don't know. I mean, everybody was after this.
FBI building,
Of
folks.
course, wondering, is it the road one? Because that's the only one we heard mentioned.
In 600 feet, turn right to stay on West Ternero Street.
Nothing other than actually.
We'll see if there's any like media or anybody. You know, it's like a Fort Knox fortress, but I think the suspect's going to the FBI building in Tucson. I don't think he's going to Pima County Sheriff's, and he's definitely not going into the county
Turn
jail.
right to stay on West Ternero Street.
Right now.
If someone has been detained and not arrested, they wouldn't be booked in the county jail.
I don't
They would
know other
be
than he does
detained for questioning.
dark facial hair.
FBI building.
Around it. Now, you can see hair.
Look how dark it is out here.
See black hair. Here's what I do want to say. You and I might not be able to determine
Whoa,
who that is looking at it. But it is very too.
they're going to the FBI building, so we're gonna go check out and sleuth around. We tend to get there at the right place at the right time. Stuff.
At the next stop sign, turn right.
We're on our way to the FBI
At the
building.
stop sign, turn right onto historic US 80, North Oracle Road.
North Oracle Road.
But Chief Fitzgerald can tell you too that they can, their count those bricks and the distance he is on the map.
Look at Tucson. Ahead, that's Tucson. That's where we're going, folks. So if people are in the chat, we're going to the FBI building. We'll see if the person's detained, if we can get any information. Maybe there's some media down there. We'll try to find a name.
Of course, we're
Other person down there at the FBI building.
on here, and you can see through there, and that's you right.
Keep your comments coming, folks. What do you think?
This changes the entire paradigm of this investigation. It does not. I still know this guy.
Hospital?
For money, meaning the fourth part of it.
A lot want to go to the hospital because that was a life
Doctor, and that's the way I respond right now.
fight. But
Huge investigative break, and they were able to recover these images. All I can say for you is
this is a federal case, and I believe the feds have taken over this case ahead of Pima County. Rio Rico, 30 minutes. They scoop the person up, take him to the FBI building.
identifiable.
He's at the FBI building.
Except
He's not going to be in the county jail yet because he's not booked.
buried.
He's at the FBI building. There's no way they're interrogating this person at the Pima County Sheriff's Office. No way. FBI is interrogating.
If this were my husband, I would know. If this were, my executive producer, I would know.
It's the FBI building.
I'd know the general.
I'm pretty confident, but we'll see.
Masked as he thinks.
Or we might not know anything. We might just go down there. It might be just nothing of nothing. So,
To me,
where do you think the person's being held at right now?
hopefully, the law enforcement initially,
I would say the FBI building.
hopefully the FBI
People were saying hospital though.
did a bunch of.
I don't think the hospital.
Checked a bunch of
I
tracks.
don't think it's hospital.
Made notations as to when and where the track
JLR LifeNet Hospital went to Rio Rico and now headed to Oro Valley.
dump they went to, so that they can start searching the cat. Or even the trash at that Circle K where there was some activity initially, when that night, I think someone was saying that there was some activity at that Circle K location. And I also checked that.
The cops went there and asked.
There's no reports that the report says the suspect was picked up during a traffic stop.
I always go to the trash.
No reports of any injuries that I've seen anyone injured.
In some ways, but he had a lot of really great information.
I would say
Yeah.
life flight, if there was with a Rio Rico, probably unrelated. But
All right, guys, I think I'm gonna go back to Fox 5 Washington. Oh, give me 1 second here.
It's a black strap, but then there's something underneath it.
We'll go back to Fox 5
And there's a couple of reflective stripes maybe at the top.
in Washington, and
Just distinctive wear for the backpack and or the sweatshirt that the cops are going to try to figure out the maker of, perhaps. Like, what do you do with that information?
Well, I'm looking at this initially, Megan, as a behavioralist. And what this tells me, profiler, and what this tells me is this, and we said this early on, I certainly did. The symptoms.
1 second. Come on. Sorry about this.
He was very well set up, ready to do this. And
all right. Here we go. I'll take the banner down here in a second because obviously it's not for this one no more. Let's add that back. Alrighty. We'll just keep it on here. You guys can watch this, right? Bouncing back and forth and frustrating anybody. We'll give you full screen. I'll hop off here. Oh, shoot.
It's a very good point. I want to bring in former police officer Randy Sutton, who joins us now. Randy, I mean, you hear Josh Ritter there saying, hey, listen, maybe they knew who this person was. Again, this person is being detained, and they have been outspoken to say, not arrested, detained, not a suspect, not a person of interest, just somebody who is being detained and clearly questioned, Randy Sutton. But, you know, when you know this video is coming out, it might be the smoke 'em out category. What do you think? Yeah, when you talk about enough to go on, it's a good time for us to bring in the director of the FBI, Kash Patel, who was on Sean Hannity's show tonight. And he was talking about the fact that they had made substantial progress on persons of interest. Here's what he said. Yeah, I'd like to kind of go around with the legal panel. If I can start with you, Randy Sutton, here. It's interesting to me, but it really does appear as if Josh and Paul might be onto something here. Maybe they kind of had an idea of who this person was. They had the video, we think, for the better part of a day, maybe a little longer than a day. So you have this video, you get a little bit of, kind of juice going to see if you can make something happen. And that's kind of what's looking like happened here over the past 48 hours. Right? We all hope. We all hope. But I want to play this. You talk about, prescient, and you had Chris Swecker, former assistant FBI director. He was talking tonight, and he said that he expected a solution in the next. We don't have that, but he will. I will say this, Chris Clem. He said that there will be a solution, I think, within the next 24 hours. He said this 3 hours ago.
Yeah, I think it all comes down to what we've all been talking about over the last few moments. This new video evidence. Did the FBI, did Pima County have this information, and were they on to something before they released it? Because what has happened is the investigation kind of got stymied, kind of got cold a little bit, right? So how do we, maybe the suspect or suspects got comfortable. So let's flush them out.
Yeah.
So when you make them move, they become vulnerable, and hence we've got somebody detained. Let's hope that leads to an arrest and leads to resolution sooner. I don't disagree with that statement that we're going to have something big probably in the next day based on how things are moving so quickly right now.
Yeah, big. How big? I mean, it's interesting. How big, Josh Ritter, do you think when you talk about big? Are you thinking that we are close to a solution here, as the former assistant FBI director was talking about, or are we a little further? Do we still need to kind of cross a few hurdles? Yeah, you read the same tea leaves, Paul Morrow? I'm just wondering because it really did. It seems like to all of us as we're covering this and we're getting new information. I mean, I was literally out here and I'm talking with Jesse Waters and Sean Hannity, and people are saying, here's some information. It was coming in so fast, Paul, that the tea leaves were not easy to read, but they were sure coming fast and furious.
You love building high-performing websites, but you don't love having to chase clients down for content, coding plugins, or endlessly switching between tools. What if you could work without the grind?
I talked to a number of investigators today to kind of expand on Paul Morrow's point there, but the whole time you've been talking, Paul, and Josh, you as well, we have been kind of showing the video, right? That's the video in his left hand where he went down and he grabbed some brush. And I guess the idea was to try and block the Nest camera using that. But what's fascinating about this is that the police officers I talked to were saying this is filled with information. It is filled. They figured out within seconds how tall this person was within an inch, because they went to the house is right across the street. They went to the house, they measured the bricks, and they counted the number of bricks that he was standing next to, so they had his height. And then you look at the gait that he had, the way that he bends, the eyes, the teeth. And there was something extra because Morgan Wright, who's a cybersecurity expert, I can bring Kurt Knudsen back in this, was talking about how the gloves that we have seen him push up to the camera so many times, how the gloves might be able to track him down. Watch. It's call 49. I go back to the shooting, Kurt, at Brown University, where within a couple of days they had a wealth of information about the person who they believed was the shooter, where his car was located. Kind of the same thing here, where he was buying certain stuff. Same thing here, right? Those gloves look to me, I've never seen those in my life. They look to me to be fairly unique, and it's a good bet that as soon as the FBI saw those gloves, they were making calls and knew where those gloves came from, maybe who bought those gloves. What do you think? We are hoping. We are hoping. You know, it's interesting also that we talked to Chip Massey. He's a former FBI special agent. He was on the story with Martha McCallum today, and he was talking about some of the unique aspects of the person who was on the doorstep of Nancy Guthrie's home across the street, and just the mannerisms and so forth. And what I thought, Chris, when I was looking at this the first time, was his eyes. Maybe her eyes. We don't really know. We haven't identified this person yet. The mustache, the goatee, the look of the kind of a waxed eyebrows. And we had Chip Massey talking about how everybody who knew that person knew that person. Watch. He's right. You do know who that person is, right? I mean, I have good buddies of mine. You can see him walking 40 yards away.
Yeah, it's interesting. You mentioned you're looking at his eyes, and we clearly see that. I'm watching his walk up there, and I see when he turns around, I'm looking at his right foot. It almost looks like he's got a little bit of bow leg in that bottom right part of his foot, so maybe he's walking on the right side of his heel. So there may be some wear and tear on the right side. I mean, that's what I saw, is that walking, because somebody who would have tracked him out in the desert is looking for that uneven foot pattern, right? And so there's so much telling, as one of the guests just mentioned, there's so much to gather from that information. We're right here where it's so dark and there's so much cacti, so much vegetation. He's very clean walking up here, right? It wasn't like he was sneaking through the desert. He would have got caught up in the brush, and the desert bites and burns and sticks you out here, right? He walks up pretty clean, but he is very identifiable. But look at that in some of that video. You look at that right leg as he turns around to get that brush. It seems like he's got a little bit of a crooked leg in that bottom right there that would, again, separate him from somebody. And if you knew somebody that walked that way and you saw the face, you saw everything else, hey, I think I know who that guy is.
Yeah, I mean, right, a fair point, Randy Sutton, because, you know, regardless of the gloves, regardless of the mask and the clothing and whatever, there's some things you just cannot hide. Yeah, it's interesting. I want to, you probably cannot see this here, but we just had 2 or 3 vehicles pull up from the sheriff's department here. All of the vehicles have their lights on. We don't know if they're here for some reason. We don't know if they're maybe just kind of clearing out parking. It's kind of unknown at this point, but we have a third vehicle here again with the lights on. And it's a good thing the lights are on because Randy's right and Chris is right. It is so dark out here. I mean, look, the stars look amazing, but it is so dark. There is very little light pollution out here, and it is difficult.
Hello?
Oh my God.
Apparently I screwed something up and I've all showed everybody my email. So that's not going to work.
Should there be a message coming soon from the FBI, like, don't do anything? You know, like, I don't know. How do you handle this?
I would say to go by
Again, bear with me. Sorry about all this.
even though it's form is probably what Nancy is through. However, we have in that task. I'm wondering, did you do a power from communicator thing because you know, I know you
All right, let's try to get back into the video.
if you have a blanket or a that's how one.
I was thinking for a second, maybe like the remnants of the Nest camera got these shots, the remnants of it got him. He knew that that's not what happened. This is the Nest camera is still in its in its spot. The Nest camera didn't get pictures of the perpetrator. It's just, and he did remove the camera. It's just something in the system. Even though the sheriff told us at a presser, he was told by the company that they hadn't gotten it so far, but he said we're asking them to continue checking. Something. They got the gold, you guys. Like they.
No, I'm gonna attempt to try to pull something else up. We'll see if it'll work, but I don't know if it will.
To try to identify any of this vegetation that might be on the floor where boots were, or where he keeps his shoes, or in closets, or anything like that.
I mean, it's a fair assessment here, Chris, because you know you want to. It's the return to the scene of the crime. You want to be able to, if he truly was looking for money.
I would get the situation because I think no matter what happened, he would have gotten rid of a lot of the.
Okay, again, trying to pull up the video for you guys can see. This is a video of the suspect approaching the front of Nancy's home.
And there is facial hair. That's all we can sure. And then made a close-up shot of the face. And that is definitely a mustache, a dark mustache above his lip. The other picture in here, below. If that was the case, Maureen, and they found we talked about it right now, public to help us
Okay, let's go back to the original.
What does it tell us, if anything? I'm gonna start calling you kids too. I like that, Jim. What does it tell us that? No, I like it. You guys have a history. What does it tell us that they haven't placed him under arrest and that they actually are issuing a general appeal to the public for any information? Does that tell us that it's not the brother-in-law?
I'm gonna try a different layout and see if that'll help out any.
I'll start here, Megan, but we know, and Maureen knows as well, they've had these pictures for a few days. They didn't get them this morning and released them right away. So we're talking about what does this, they're doing with these things, what is hiding them, destroying them, what could happen to, of course, Mrs. Guthrie. These are all
Give me a second.
involved in the post-offense behavior of this particular offender. And now that the stakes have been raised, as of the last hour or so, and he now is aware of this, is like we are on this panel, that's when he has some decisions to make. Let's hopefully he plays it smart here, and if he somehow does have Mrs. Guthrie in his custody, if she's still alive, nothing bad happens there. But yeah, if he had a mustache, I won't go into whether it's the brother-in-law.
Okay, apparently it's not gonna let me, so we'll just go back to the main screen.
Two things. Either it was planted there in advance as a decoy, or if it's real, it's come off as of about an hour ago. And that is someone that's something we should put out.
We'll get rid of that.
Josh Ritter, to you, I'm interested in the fact that, we have been kind of talking about this, and you look up on the steps up there and you look going up there, it's kind of rough. I mean, it's rough. The steps are rough. There's some rock forward. Are there others, and are those others also the key, or maybe the key, to finding Nancy Guthrie and bringing her home?
All right, I'll let you get back to the full screen.
Yeah, it really is. It's kind of amazing to see what we have seen today. For those who are just joining us, we're going to reset at the top of the hour. We've got another continuing hour of breaking news coverage here in Tucson, Arizona, because they have somebody who has been detained, apparently pulled over in a traffic stop, and is now being questioned, we assume. Continuing coverage right now. And it is 11 p.m. on the East Coast, 9 o'clock here in Tucson, Arizona, and we continue our coverage of breaking news. A person has been detained and is now being questioned in connection with the search for Nancy Guthrie. Let's get back live to the chief correspondent, Jonathan Hunt. He's been following this search in Tucson, Arizona. He joins us with new information. Jonathan, what are you finding? Is 5.5 the 5.5?
You brought it up there.
Parents of children who play Roblox. If your child was sexually exploited, abused, or pressured to share explicit content,
A person of interest questioned by investigators hours after we got that video. Yeah, and where and when and how might we hear from the Guthrie family about this this detention? Also is kind of in the mix here. Jonathan, we've got a lot of news to get back to. We'll get back to you as your news warrants, and if you hear something, flag us and we'll put you back on. Meantime, we have been on the ground in Tucson for hours now. We have been here because we flew in last night. This started rumbling, and what happened was, if you haven't been following this, just over the past 29 hours. So you had Savannah Guthrie come out yesterday afternoon, and it was the first time that she went on social media and she issued a statement. And it was very emotional, but it's not as emotional as it was kind of a statement of desperation. And so she issued a statement yesterday afternoon, and we were talking about this during our news meeting, and we thought we need to get out there. We need to get out into the desert by the house and kind of do some live reporting here. So we got on a plane early this morning to come here and to cover this live. And right when we hit the ground, things started happening. I mean, it was just event after event after event, and we were covering breaking news all day. We wanted to give you an idea of what it looks like out here during the day. We shot this about 4.5 hours ago. Just a quick walk around of what it is like outside of Nancy Guthrie's home. Watch.
Can we switch our guest out? Can we switch our guest out?
Switching the guests.
Can we switch guests? said, no, it's not cash. I didn't know you were on. Sorry. No, it is payable. They're saying cash is still set on Kennedy. Plural.
Yes. And
I have no one saying that.
All right. Good, are you? Good. Take a earpiece up? Yes.
Do you want more poppers? Do you want more poppers?
not clear? I think I cut. Am I done for the night?
No.
No.
Can you stay? Okay.
No, I can stay. Yeah,
Can you stay?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, come stay. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, tell me when.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll hook me back up. Huh?
Left ear right here.
Swapping guests. I see what's happening.
Left right here. Left. Bob, it's Krieger?
Krieger.
Krieger.
Yes.
Got it. Bob
Disregard,
Krieger.
disregard the Y.
Here you go.
Up and over here.
Come on. Yeah, it really is. And that was before we knew that there was somebody they had detained. And so, you know, the news just kind of keeps on rolling. And so we want to bring back in the panel to give some analysis to figure out where we stand right now and how to move this forward. Retired Lieutenant in the Pima County Sheriff's Department, Bob Krieger, Fox News contributor and former NYPD Inspector Paul Morrow, criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Josh Ritter, and award-winning tech journalist Kurt Knudsen, also known as the Cyber Guy, will kind of join us to give us an idea of what's going on and what happens next. It is, to me, I think, important for our audience, Paul Morrow, to kind of get an idea of where this person was captured, because in the last hour, I mean, people might just be joining us. In the last hour, we talked about this person who was detained was actually found in Rio Rico, which is just this side of the Mexican border. It is about an hour drive south of Tucson and just this side of the Mexican border. It was a traffic stop that this person was stopped at. And the question became, was this person on the run? Did this person have an inkling that maybe there was too much information out there, that maybe this video was the deal breaker, and decided he was going to make a run for it? But I'm wondering, Paul Morrow, as you look at the day's events, did you anticipate any of this going into this afternoon even? Yeah, and the next question is, is how much can they get in the short amount of time, Josh Ritter? Because we know that at some point this person is going to lawyer up, regardless if he's just being detained. And this person is going to lawyer up. So the questioning has to be acute, and it has to be fairly rapid. Yeah, very interesting. I want to bring in Bob Krieger. He just joined us here, and it's interesting. Can you hear them, Bob? Did you hear what they were saying?
Yeah, I got that.
It's interesting to me that things move so rapidly today. What about you? What's your take on what you saw, and where do you think this thing goes to in the wee hours of the morning?
Well, once the video and the photos were released this morning, I felt the same way. I thought the pace would pick up definitely. There were folks. Someone knew who that was. They knew who it was. They knew where he was. Information was going to come in, and knowing the Pima County team and the resource on the ground, I know that the SWAT team would be prepared to go do anything, to do a vehicle takedown, to do a warrant, to do a hostage rescue if need be, if they know where Nancy's at. And so the pace didn't surprise me that something popped off this afternoon.
Is it your sense that they were looking for just one individual?
That would be my gut feeling right now with what I saw in the video. I said before, he appears to be a fairly unsophisticated criminal. And
in what capacity?
Well, just the things that I see him doing at the door, the dealing with the flowers, rubbing them on there, the time that he spent there on camera, the gun that appears to be in the wrong type of holster, the way he's carrying the gun, all of those things kind of led me to believe that this, just wasn't a very sophisticated criminal. And, with that, I figured maybe local. Rio Rico's, it's a ways away, but it's still, in the Tucson metro area, right, as far as I'm concerned. So it didn't surprise me that something popped off down there. It's not uncommon either. Between here and Mexico, there's a lot of ground to cover and a lot of houses where, in the past we've encountered people being held against their will, things like that.
Do you think that they had been watching this person that they've taken in for questioning? Do you think they had been watching him for a matter of hours or longer or shorter?
I would say shorter. I would say as information came in, if the investigators knew who they were, I'm sure they would have been on them. But as soon as they found out even a little bit about the person, that's when they would have kind of mobilized and got a team rolling down that way.
Yeah, it's interesting when I talk about information coming in. I'm not in law enforcement, so I don't know. But is there something, as they released the video, the FBI was saying, listen, we got a number of tips, we got a number of good responses. Clearly, some of those were significant. And I'm just wondering, how do you pick out the significant ones, right? I mean, you've got so much information to try and sift through. If there is still somebody who is connected to this out there, how do you sift through the information, and which ones do you pick as the most helpful?
A lot of good investigators doing a lot of good investigating. That's really what it is. You prioritize. This one seems the most legitimate. Let's focus on that one and just keep triaging it as you go.
Well, it really is. It's kind of one of those things where as soon as the ball started rolling, it really started rolling. I mean, you look at this, Paul Morrow, and I think at 8 o'clock this morning or 7 o'clock this morning, when you jump on that plane to come here, you don't really expect this. You expect something to happen because there's a reason I thought that Savannah Guthrie went and posted her first social media where she wasn't talking to the people who wrote these ransom notes, that she was talking to the public in general. I mean, she talks to the public in general almost every day of her life in her job. She was talking to the public in general, and she was pleading for help. And it seems to me, we don't know this for a fact, that she may have been shown the video and that they didn't recognize. The FBI has said, the Pima County Sheriff's has said, the family does not recognize this person. And so I think they got to the point where they're like, it's time for us to ask others to help us fill in the blanks. Paul. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it really is. And on that note, I wanted just to quickly follow up with you, Paul, if I can, because they got the big break. They got the big break, and they got what looks like somebody who they believe is involved in this. Whether they're saying it's just a detention or anything else, it's somebody they clearly believe might be involved in this. And I'm wondering if you believe that now, even with somebody in detention, now is really when the clock is against, or the clock is a pivotal thing at this point in time. Is that fair? Yeah, and I want us all to kind of watch the thing, Bob. If you could look there, I'm not sure if you guys have a monitor on your side by the sheriff's station, but we just got some brand new video. This is the person who was detained. I want to put this on. This is down in Rio Rico. We're being told it's 15 miles from the Mexican border, but this is the video, the first video that we have seen that is connected to the person who was detained and we presume is now being questioned. Anything about this video, Bob Krieger, that strikes you as you look at this? Because I can't really pick out, what is significant and what is not.
Yeah, with what I'm seeing on the screen, there's not much I can say about it, other than there's a good amount of.
Whoa. What's that? I just built a budgeting app in Base 44. Guys, Nina just built an app.
Impossible. Nina can't code. Interesting.
Usually not a lot of officers, right? And I know that the sheriff's department has resources down there, and any other resources that are out there to help as far as feds go. But they were definitely looking for something with that amount of people that are down there.
Yeah, and I wonder, Josh Ritter, if you look at the picture, I don't even know if you can see it, but I will tell you that, as Bob says, there's not really a lot to see, not a lot to decipher. There's a truck on the right. There seems to be some people gathered by that. There appears to be some type of, it could be a photographer's box. It could be, who knows what it is. And then you have a couple of cars on the left-hand side and some people that are down, either being questioned or somebody who's talking to somebody else. We just don't really know exactly what we're looking at here. But you wonder if in a situation like this, is it the goal to get this person, as Paul Moore was saying, and bring them back to Pima County? Is that the goal, to get this person into a vehicle as rapidly as possible and get them back where they can be questioned? Yeah, and while I've got you both here, I want to bring in Bob. The same for you. We got some breaking news coming in. This is from KSAZ, our Fox affiliate in the Phoenix area. It says, quoting here, the Pima County Sheriff's Department, assisted by the FBI's evidence response team, is conducting a court-authorized search of a location in Rio Rico, Arizona, related to the Nancy Guthrie investigation. This operation is expected to last several hours. No further details at this time. And then it ends by saying, please see the media staging area below. Fox News has a camera on the way to Rio Rico, so we hope to get some video sometime this evening about what's going on there. What's your best guess at what we're looking at here, Paul Morrow? It doesn't appear to be the vehicle. It is a court-authorized search of a location.
Say that it's not super slim man, but it's not a hugely obese man either. I think
There has been a current report of the suspect that was detained shown in a video or something. I'm not sure. I just heard it over as you guys did with Griff Jenkins from Fox News Channel. Something about a video or something that came out just a little bit ago. I haven't found the video yet, but I'm still looking at it through something else. But if I get any new image or whatever, I will share it as well. Just wanted to hop on and let you guys know that. All right. I'm going to hop back off here. And thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to like and share and do all that jazz. If you would, please. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly my question is, how long does it take you to get the warrant? Can you get it? I mean, we think this thing, we were building this up in the last hour because we didn't know, as maybe that this was some kind of a race, like it was a chase down to Rio Rico, when maybe it wasn't. Maybe this person was in Rio Rico all the time. Maybe this person lived or lives in Rio Rico, and it all kind of transpired. They knew this person was down there and it was just time to go. And they waited to bring in the cavalry before, Josh, that they couldn't do it until they got the court order, the court authorized warrant to go in and take a look. Yeah, and that's the whole thing, Bob, is you're looking at whatever information that we have here. The key to all of this is trying to locate Nancy Guthrie and find out where she is. And maybe the key lies in that location. We don't even know if it's a house or an apartment. We know nothing about it except some location.
Correct. And still at this point of the investigation, The only thing that matters is finding Nancy.
Right.
Between all the investigators and the tactical teams, that's goal number one, is finding her safe and getting her back to her family. And then all the ancillary investigative stuff can happen after that.
Yeah. Do you believe that, I mean, this crew down there, what is it, if you're going in, what are you looking for? Let's say it is an apartment or a home or something. Is there something you're looking for that might lead you in a positive direction, Bob?
The things that you're looking for in a search like this, anything that's related to the crime, any of the gear that he was wearing in the video, anything that might belong to Nancy, any electronics, because like the gentleman have already said, the electronic evidence at this point is going to be the most helpful.
Yeah, and which is a great segue for us to bring back in Kirk Knutson here, because that's the thing. You got to go to a judge and you got to show this judge, Kurt, some compelling evidence. Something that you can get a warrant and you can go down and search this location. Is it likely, in your estimation, that maybe this was some kind of electronic evidence in some capacity?
At Vistaprint, we print signs so people can see your brand up close. But we also print signs so that people can see your business here, see it here, and see it here, so you stand out.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, what else do you have? And that's the whole thing. Is you're working at a system. You're trying to work with the federal government. You're trying to work with the FBI. Everybody's got their own kind of ideas on what's going on, Bob. And the question is how do you bring all those ideas together to have this kind of force to be reckoned with, what we saw today?
Well, the good thing is everyone down here has worked together for years between the federal agencies, because they're always present,
right,
where we are near the border. So this is nothing new for the sheriff's department. They've done this my entire career, working hand in hand with federal agencies, working with state warrants, federal warrants, combining them to see what's going to be the best outcome for the case.
Yeah, it really is. The best outcome is what everybody's hoping for. Paul Morrow, your thoughts on this as far as going forward? And I was kind of asking the question to others. What are you looking for as you walk into a building, as you walk into a location, and you know that time is of the essence, and you know that there is a life on the line here? What is it you are looking for that you think might lead you in the right direction? Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. Watch yourself, sir. Cork. Yeah. Yeah, A time machine that works rapidly. Paul, thank you. You know, it's important that we kind of get an idea of how we got here to this point, because this point is critical. We're getting breaking news almost every 4 or 5 minutes. I want to say that the FBI director, Kash Patel, is kind of shedding some new light on how the FBI is working with big tech companies to help crack this case. The senior national correspondent, Kevin Cork, is live for us in D.C. with an update on this. Kevin, good evening. So they're searching. They're searching the area.
Yeah,
location.
Yeah. We don't know the house, but there's a location. It's a just a location. I've been trying to find it.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. It's
Are you guys together? Indeed. Kevin Cork live for us in D.C. Kevin, if you hear something else, flag us. We'll put you back on. Meantime, we're back to the panel. Chris Clem, Border Patrol Chief, Paul Morrow, Josh Ritter, and Kirk Knudsen. Chris, welcome back in. I mean, since you walked away a few minutes ago, right, we now know that the person who was not arrested, the person who was detained in Rio Rico, which we now know is 15 minutes from the Mexican border, now they've got a court-authorized order to be able to go in and search a location. That's all they're saying is a location. We don't know if it's a home. We don't know if it's a warehouse. We don't know if it's an apartment. We just know there's a location. And my guess is that they're going to be out there for the better part of the evening.
I agree. What we do know is you have to have probable cause to get that warrant signed by the judge. So right, that's good, right? So the information that we've seen play out through the day, right? We had video surveillance finally released. And we have information about, we're trying to figure out the timing, but they did have somebody detained. And now we know that there was a warrant issue, right? So now the federal agencies, the state, local, everybody that's working on this is going to be clamping down on there. Another crime scene, going to treat it like that. And as Bob Krieger mentioned earlier, you're going to be looking for every piece of information you can find that may be related to this case. No stone is going to be left unturned, especially now when you got that judicial warrant.
Yeah, I want to think, because, you know, John Nance, former FBI, was talking about, you know, what happens when you release the SWAT teams, right? And I want to play this sound, but it's soundbite number 13, Greg, if you would. But this is John Nance, former FBI, on deployment of SWAT, because we spent a lot of the afternoon. Jonathan Hunt called us and said, well, for the first time, I've been here for 9 days, and for the first time in 9 days, we just saw the SWAT units take off. And they did take off. And they were joined not just by the Pima County SWAT team, but by other police departments in the area's SWAT team. So this was a force to be reckoned with. And they started heading south on Interstate 10. And that's where we kind of lost them at one point in time. It appears they were going to Rio Rico, but John Nance, former FBI, had the following to say, and he was spot on. Watch. Yeah. And the key phrase there is that you are looking at an imminent arrest, and we knew when those SWAT vans pulled out that something was afoot.
Yeah, John was right. You do not send in the cavalry. Resources are precious. Time is of the essence. You cannot afford to send that many resources down to an area just on a hunch, right? They've got actionable intelligence. That's the key, right? Information that leads to actionable intelligence. That's what everybody is doing in this case since the minute it broke, is looking for information. And now what we've seen, or at least what is playing out before our eyes right now, is actionable intelligence. They got a warrant and they're out there doing the job. So you have to send those resources down there. Something big was going to happen, as we mentioned.
So this is your mission, and you're in charge of this thing. What's first? I mean, is it not the chicken and egg thing? But I'm wondering, do you get the authorized court order first before you send the SWAT team out, or do you send the SWAT team out, you locate somebody, and then you get the court order? How does that work?
We know it really, again, everything is kind of it changes based on the complexity of the case, but typically you're building up that information to bring that warrant to the judge. So here is the probable cause. Here is every piece of evidence we have so far that indicates this is a location that we believe has information that will lead to the finding of Nancy Guthrie and all the information in the criminal.
If Zoom is what you're recording your podcast with, then you're missing out on better quality. But I got you. Riverside is your one-stop shop for creating your podcast, and it handles everything. You can't say that with Zoom. With Zoom, everyone on the podcast is recorded into a single file. You don't want that, which is why Riverside records each person on a separate track. Ultimately, you'll be recording super high quality with Riverside, regardless if your Wi-Fi is superb or powered by a potato.
Judge signed it, and now they're on scene.
Does that sound like a fair assessment to you, Josh Ritter, that they wanted to get the warrant first before they sent any SWAT teams anywhere? They wanted to know that they had their ducks in a row, so if they found something, they could walk in and they could begin their investigation ASAP. Mm. Yeah, I just, Paul Morrow, it's important to get your perspective here because you have a unique perspective because you've been on both sides. You've been on the legal side, you've been on the investigative side. Is that kind of the pattern that you would follow? Is you get the warrant and then you go, or you get the person and then you get the warrant? Mm. Yeah, it really is amazing to think that the state that she lived in and the laws that they practiced could end up eventually saving her life. I want to bring in Kirk Knudsen back into the conversation because I'm kind of fascinated about this location. Again, we don't know anything about the location. It could be an apartment, right? House. As they were saying, it could be an open field. We don't know anything about this, Kurt. But if you are going in, as you say, where a big chunk of evidence is always some type of cyber evidence, right? Electronic evidence. If you're going in there, what are you going into this location looking for if you're Kurt Knudsen and you're a curious guy? Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly right. Which brings us back to Chris Clem, because nobody knows more about the border and license plate readers and so on and so forth than this man. And that's kind of a key, is that, that's what the border does. And so when you look at something like this, some operation, it is critical to find out the vehicle and find out where this vehicle is traveling to.
We are going to connect the dots. And old school law enforcement, we used to use, post-it notes and sticky notes and have to put all this stuff. Now we've got the luxury of technology and AI and everything else to map this together. Just like Kurt was saying, there are so many data points that can be used right now. So once we have point A, and let's say this location is point B, we can connect all those dots. And that's the beauty of this, is using technology to our advantage. The FBI is working with Pima County, the state and locals, everybody's involved. As Kurt mentioned, there's so much information out there that they're working right now to connect these. That's probably what led us to this location and these warrants. But again, using the license plate readers, all the technology that the border has along the highways, state and locals, transportation department, all that is going to play into this case. And this is going to be the information that we need to connect these dots.
Yeah, Kurt Knudsen, back to you. I was, when I was, it was probably 25 years ago now, in the early 2000s, when we were covering the Scott Peterson trial. And it was really the first time that a lot of us, Scott Peterson, who is on death row now for murdering his wife, Lacey Peterson, was a big story. And it was the first time a lot of us had really kind of figured out that you can really use this cell phone triangulation to pinpoint people's locations. And it shocked a lot of people. And now it is the most common thing on the planet. And you wonder, what's the next step? Have we gotten to a much better technological fashion or police work where we can now use different tools that can actually give us more precision than we had 25 years ago?
Find a Planet Fitness near you and get your first month free. Deal ends February 13th.
Yeah, well, this has been kind of an investigative powerhouse today. Go back to Paul Morrow and Josh Ritter, if I can here, because it really is. It's one of those things where we all now, you've got a lot of police work, which was exceptional today. With lack of, there's just no other way to put it. You had police work from local to federal that was exceptional. And now the question is, you've got to bring this woman home. So Paul Morrow, to you first. If you're trying to bring home Nancy Guthrie and time is of the essence, and you have a legal mind, you have an investigative mind, what is the first bridge that you are trying to cross in the next 2, 3, 4 hours? Yeah, you remember we were on the set the other night, Josh Ritter, talking about the first one who runs and tells the authorities is the one who's going to get the best deal out of this whole thing. And I'm wondering if it's a good cop bad cop situation where somebody's informant.
Look at the chat, Laura.
Just detained. At this
Go to the
time,
chat.
that kidnapping is going to put you in prison for a long time. Murder puts you there forever.
Another thing is, they will assume, Jim, you mentioned this earlier this week, they will assume, again, I'm like, ruling people out, we can't only do that, like, with the immediate family, for example, you were saying they're going to know what that person searched for on their phone, like, how do you get rid of a body, that kind of thing, like, the FBI at this point knows that. They can maybe be able to delete a phone, they can figure out really, I think what we did do as far as like the immediate family, it's probably.
Yeah, it's also accurate to say that this is a person that they have detained right now. There might be, and who's to say this is the person on the videotape? Who's to say that whoever this person on the videotape was worked alone? But you can also say, Chris Clem, that maybe there are others out there, and maybe we will get other detentions in the next 24 hours, and that would also be a key part of this entire case.
You're absolutely right, and so are the other panel guests. What really is interesting to me is to find out the location where this warrant is going to take place, right? Because there is so much information that we're going to be able to find that. That's where the domino effect could happen, right? Like Paul mentioned, they're going to have to put everything out there. They're going to look at all vectors, everybody that this person is connected to. But it could be something as simple as if it's some kind of domicile or a warehouse, so we're going to see information, and that's going to take them running. And again, maybe we find somebody else. But also, as they mentioned, the first person, and you mentioned, the first person that talks is going to get the better deal. This person on video and some that may have operated alone, right? But they're going to talk. They're communicating with somebody, as we mentioned in the previous hour. This is going to start opening some information gaps that hopefully we can close rather quickly. That's key, right? This information leads us to action, and we're seeing the action play out. There's just so much more that we have to find out in order to kind of get us closer to a resolution.
We've got 2.5 minutes left in our breaking news broadcast. I want to go back to Kirk Knudsen. Kirk, I mean, what will your recommendation be? Is there something cyber-wise that you think is instrumental in saving Nancy Guthrie's life in the next 24 hours?
Hasn't handcuffs put on them yet. That's a clue that at this time, at least, is outside of the direct family. And who knows, third level, fourth level, friends of friends, where that part comes in. But no handcuffs yet. They're not prime suspects.
Maybe quickly before we move on. Yeah. A lot of times when people are doing their searches, everyone knows now that your phone, has all this information. They're going to local libraries. They're using other people's devices. Like someone may have, you don't know whose devices are using. Essentially, is what I'm going to say. I'm not going to say much more than that.
Yeah, I was just listening to a Dateline, which is a pastime, NBC, of course, where they were talking about there was a guy who had his wife killed, and his alibi was he was at a poker game the night that she was attacked, and they checked his phone to see if he had called anybody, and he hadn't. But then, as the news tightened,
yeah, it really is. It's one of those things where you think there's so many possibilities, but those possibilities take so much time. And right now, there's not a lot of time. So you want the remedy, right? You want the solution. You want the elixir to be something that is fast and is successful right now, or 3 hours from now, or 4 hours from now. I've got about 15 seconds for each of you, Paul Morrow and Josh. I just want to know, Paul, what do you think happens over the next, actually, I got 10 seconds for you. What happens over the next 5 or 6 hours? No. Yep. We got new stills of the scene in Rio Rico. We want to put these up. That concludes our break.
As they go.
All right. I don't know what just happened there.
Now, obviously, gun stores are as they go.
Not sure what just happened there, but I guess I'll stop it for now. But thanks y'all for watching. And if you would, just make sure to like and share and all that. All right, later.